Now it's 11:08, January 9th. As you can see, there's not a single signal on my phone. No internet, no SMS, no phone calls. This video was filmed before and during the internet blackout in January 2026 in Iran. When I arrived in Isfahan, things were already tense in some cities. You hear a lot of stories about Iran in the news, but this is the Iran I saw with my own eyes. I want to show you Iran beyond the headlines, just real life. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am in Iran, in central part of Iran, in a small city near Isfahan. And today's video is going to be very simple. I just want to show you how the real life looks like. We're going to show you some very interesting shops that are closely linked to the everyday life in Iran. So let's go. Now we have to do one of the most important things for the Iranians to start the day, that is to get the bread. The bread shop is here. Salam. Hello. Salam.
Salam, salam.
The baking process is so interesting. So they just put that piece of bread in the oven. The oven is so deep, and then they take it out after 3 or 4 minutes and hang it here. And you can still see the small stones. You have to remove the stones.
Sangak means a small piece of stone. For 100 years ago, a person which is called Sheikh Bahai, he was a Iranian famous scientist, offered the army to carry small pieces of stone and bake the bread on the stones. Because of this, we call it sangak, a small piece of stone.
How many years have they been making the bread?
20 years.
20 years.
20 years, yeah, he bake.
And they make 1,000 sangak every day?
Every day, yes. His father also was baked. It's like a heritage. He wanna offer you a good trading situation. If you bring him to China, he will run a sangak shop for you.
I hope one day I can bring him to China. I just ordered a special extra large sangak bread. He's gently massaging the dough.
It's a super special sangak.
Thanks. Hili mamno. They baked a special sangak for me, full of herbs and sesame. Seriously, I really like this bread sangak. If one day I get rich, I will open a sangak shop in China. It's so cool. What is this bread called?
Taftun furnace bread.
And in this room, they are making the taftun dough. So the wheat, you can see it's whole wheat bread. Salam. So he quickly presses the dough and then put it onto this machine, and it gets pressed. And then they roll this onto the bread, and then here, and then finally into the furnace, the stove. The whole bakery smells so good. It smells like, you know, this burnt, a little bit burnt smell of bread. It's so nice. So here you can feel the heat coming out. Sangak bread is definitely my favorite bread among all the bread on the Asian Silk Road. So this special version, look, there are so much herb sesame on it, and people are just so friendly. They want to tell us what it is. They show us around. Yes. And the best part is in Iran, you can see people walking around every day in the morning with a big piece of bread, just like that. You can hear the sound. Bread is at the center of Iranian life, and there are many kinds. Sangak is a long bread baked on hot pebbles. Taftun is round, made inside a clay oven. Lavash is thin and soft, almost like paper. Sangak can be enjoyed in so many ways. For breakfast, it's often paired with what locals jokingly call the Iranian flag: cucumber, tomato, and feta cheese. You can also have it with ash, a fragrant herb-filled soup with beans, or alongside kebab kubide, the classic minced meat kebab. It's a bread that fits into almost any meal. Iranians also have a deep love for sweets. Each city has its specialty. In Qom, it's sohan, a crisp saffron brittle, beautifully packed in tins. In Isfahan, it's gaz, a soft nugget filled with pistachio, and it has a rose aroma. Many sweet shops still making everything fresh by hand. Thanks. It's called gaz, right? It's like a small candy with pistachio in it.
It's gas with pistachio.
It's not super sweet, and there is a taste of rose inside.
Yes.
What's in it? Besides
ترکیبات
pistachio?
گاز چه چیزی هستش؟
سفیده تخم، گلوکوز، عسل،
Egg white, glucose, honey, sugar, sometimes
شکر،
rose
یه
water.
چیزی هم هست به اسم
What is this?
It's peas fruit. It's made by peas flour.
What's it called? The name of this?
نخوچی، شیرینی نخوچی.
Yohorchi.
نخوچی.
Nohorchi.
نخوچی. نخوچی is peas.
It has a very strong taste of
Yes.
the saffron.
Yes.
Is there saffron in it?
Absolutely. It's made with saffron.
The most important is perhaps nabat, rock sugar crystals stirred into tea. Even during uncertain times, sweetness remains part of everyday life. Due to the fluctuating exchange rate, there is a kind of a sugar shortage, so they're not making the nabat at the same time, but I can show you some of their products. The products that all Iranians have in their kitchen. For example, this is pulaki. This is also pulaki. Can I try a little bit?
Opium seed.
Oh,
Opium seed. Yeah, it's too hot.
oh, opium seed. Pulaki. So pulaki is basically a candy corn. So they mix different things in it. This one is with opium seed. Pulaki is a sugar coin. You pop one in your mouth while drinking tea. It's crispy and crunchy.
Thanks. متشکرم.
خیلی ممنون.
خیلی متشکرم لطفاً. دست دارم ببینید که
طعم هلو طبیعیه اسانسی نیست
You also have gas here, traditional
فلیبش
gas.
میگن جعبه‌ایش هم هست
So those are all traditional candies.
سوهان
Yes.
گزیه
All here, everything is traditional.
همشون هم تازن و همش
They are
تاریخ
so
داره
fresh.
همش تاریخ داره درش به تاریخ چیز اینجا نمیده چون بهداشت 7 روز به 7 روز الان 40 سال است من اینجا ولی 7 به 7 روز میاد بازدید میکنه
Okay, the government checked the
بهداشت
quality of the
خیلی
goods
سخت
every week.
میگیره
In Iran, we believe that all the foods have a different quality. For example, chai is cold, and these kind of sweets are very hot. So we mix them together to make it equal. Most of the regions are in desert, and because of the a bit salty water, most of the people really like to use the sweets. If I understand it correctly, this is also something very similar to China. We believe some food are cold, some food are hot, and that's why the Iranians here they eat candies while drinking chai. Khodafis. We're in another shop today, and this shop is a spice shop. And on entering this shop, you can smell the mixture of different spices. For example, those are the paprika and the cinnamon, the lemon, cumin, etc., etc. And on here, so on this wall, I want to show you there is something so Iranian, that is the distilled water from different plants. Using for different kind of treatments, you know. Yeah, for example, for some kind of stomach disease, you can use the mint water.
According to Iranian traditional medicine, every plant
Yes.
is a kind of treatment.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do they use this water to drink?
Yeah, just to drink. Sometimes we made some syrups.
Wow.
It's a mixture of 12 herbs, and it's really good
For the heart.
for the heart. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. So
can
look
see
at
the
this
picture of the heart.
bottle. A distilled water of 12 different spices, and it's good for the heart. That's why there is a heart on top.
Between all of these herb waters, the rose water is more famous, and especially Iranian rose water also used every year for washing the Kaaba in Mecca, the holy shrine. And it's very expensive, and it's made in Kashan. The Kashan rose water is very famous.
Wow. Even the Saudi Arabians, they import the rose water from Iran
Yeah, absolutely, just for washing Kaaba.
to washing the holy shrine.
Yeah.
The rose water.
خیلی متشکرم لطف کردیم. من نزاخته باشیم. واقعا لطف
Thanks.
کردیم.
خداحافظ.
We passed by a busy bazaar.
I said the bazaar today was not really okay. The best time is Friday.
Friday. Most
Yeah, Friday
people.
is the best.
Today's bazaar isn't the biggest, but still you can see trucks and different goods. So people come here and salam, salam, salam. Look, so it's a vase. This is a vase, but you can clearly see the Chinese patterns on it.
متشکرم.
Is it made in Iran? This one?
این ساخت ایرانه؟ Yeah,
Iranian. Those Chinese patterns, when they spread it to Iran, the local artists also learn this type of drawing. It's very similar to the ones that you had in your house.
Yeah.
That's the evidence, another evidence of the Silk Road.
At Mohammed's home, I also saw a similar piece of porcelain. Chinese patterns, but the brushwork had a distinctly Persian feel. It was truly fascinating.
China.
中国景德镇, yes. Really, Mamno. The weather today is very sunny. This feels like the bazaar in Xinjiang. It's just a large part of the open air area, and people come here and sell stuff. Now it's about noon, so the bazaar is about to closing. Only the fresh product section has a bit more people. Salam, salam. Thanks.
Take a picture of Mr. Najafi's two shots. They are joking.
خیلی ممنون.
متشکرم. زنده
خیلی ممنون.
متشکرم.
That is your father and your mother.
پدر و مادرتون. بله.
This is another stand from this gentleman's parents. They sell garlic, broccoli, lettuce, everything.
بروکلیه، کاهوه،
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
کلمه.
Kalam.
He asked you, do you know Farsi?
Man, Farsi, balad nistam.
Vinegar.
Sirke.
Sirke. Vinegar.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
Sirka.
سرکه من ترشی چی میگه ترشی من
Yeah, to make the pickle. Yeah.
Salam, salam.
سلام درود به شما.
Vinegar, ginger, and garlic. They also make some pickles.
Aha.
جینجر گارلیک.
لطف کردی. متشکرم.
هدیه
He want to give this to you as a
سیر
gift.
خونگیه بهش.
Yeah, garlic pickle. Homemade garlic pickle.
Ask him how much it is. I will pay.
هدیه است. هدیه.
میگه نمیتونم قبول کنم. I can't accept the money. It's just a gift.
Hili mamnon. So we got a gift from the local market, a pickled garlic. Been to many countries, but I found Iranian people are exceptionally hospitable. So you always get invited for chai. They always give you food. And sometimes when I was walking on the street and see people walking with the sangak bread, they will stop and ask me, "Do you want some sangak bread?" And today, you see this. The gift from the Iranians. That's Iranian hospitality.
مارای ضد گلوله.
زنده باد 85
Iran has a very diverse population. So, for example, on this stand, the seller is from Iran, Kurdistan. They brought lots of produce from the region, such as the walnut.
550 450
There is a Persian saying, Isfahan is half the world, a reminder of the city's historical wealth and beauty. Persian gardens, sophisticated mosques, grand palaces, and one of my favorite bazaars in the world. On my previous visit, we filmed artisans making locks, engraving wooden paintings, engraving copper.
Look at this. This one is before carving. So this one is the finished one. And your signature. Wow.
Printing textiles, painting vase, even decorating ostrich eggs. Craftsmanship is deeply respected here. This time though, the bazaar felt quieter. Some shops were closed. The air felt heavier. But even in the quiet, work continued.
This is the old bazaar in the center of Isfahan, in the Nashjahan Square. So it's an old bazaar with so many different handicrafts, and it's really beautiful. But due to the recent situation, so it's quieter than before. Normally all the bazaar in the Nashjahan Square are open, but recently it's closed because the dollar price fluctuates so much. So yeah, the handicraftsmen are not so sure if they should open or not. I've been to this bazaar 3 or 4 times, and this place has never been so quiet.
A day after we visited the bazaar, the situation intensified. The embassy advised avoiding unnecessary trouble. On January 9th, my Chinese SIM card stopped working. The next day, my Iranian SIM card also lost connection, and my Red Note page got frozen on that cat. Suddenly, there was no internet, no messages, no news, filming paused. Life became slower and simpler. There isn't so much to do, so Mohammed's parents took me for grocery shopping with them. His parents were incredibly warm-hearted. Even though they didn't speak much English, they tried their best to explain everything in the supermarket to me.
Dry vegetable.
Dried vegetable. Gourmet sabzi. Gourmet sabzi.
Dry bread like a coin. نان خشک سکه‌ای.
Okay, نان خشک سکه‌ای.
Coin.
Coin.
Coin bread. Like a coin.
Ah, it's very sweet. Yes.
Like a coin.
Wow. It's a very thin bread. Very thin bread. This is another sweet dried bread.
این اون تیریه. این تیری.
Chili.
دست یه نون بومیه. Local bread.
Local bread.
Local bread. Rock candy.
Rock candy.
Rock candy. نبات.
Nabat. Mm-hmm. Body splash.
Laundry.
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 To smell good. Good?
Not bad. Mama خوخوا.
Mama huhu.
Mama خوخوا.
Mama huhu. I told them the word mama huhu, which means so they really love it. Ah, pashmat. No, I don't know. Guess, yes.
Don't try.
No try.
یکی بگیم.
کدوم شو بگم؟
یه وانیلیشو بگیم. یه چیزی که طعمش به دل بشین.
Which color?
I don't know. Maybe a small one.
Small one.
A small one.
Okay.
It's called
پشمک.
pashmak. Okay, pashmak.
Like گوسفند چی میشه لمب. Like skin of lamb.
Like the hair. Hair. پشمک.
سری این رنگه ولی به نظرم همین خوبه که خودش بر. اینو ما نمیدونیم این طعمش چیه. بذار عینکمو بزنم.
When they spent 3 minutes discussing which flavor of this candy to pick for me, my heart felt so warm. I felt like they were caring for me just like a kid, even though I'm already in my 30s.
Do you like? It's sour.
Sour.
Leather candy.
Leather candy.
بهش میگن شیرینی
لواشک.
لواشک.
Mm.
Do you like?
Yes.
Do you like?
نه من میخوام از اون فروشگاه چیز بگیرم I buy you لواشک.
In the best place.
In all taste.
Okay.
Pomegranate. Sour cherry. Apricot.
The lavash. Wow. Oh, fruity. And this is sour cherry. Sour cherry. Kiwi, and strawberry. Wow. Strawberry. خیلی ممنون.
خواهش میکنیم. Welcome.
Then I went to buy vegetables. In Persian, most herbs and greens are called sabzi.
Now we are buying a green vegetable, a smashed green vegetable called komi sabzi. Can I smell it?
Fish. Fish.
Smells like
Vegetable.
coriander.
Coriander.
So Rostam is a hero of all the Iranians.
Yes.
Then we stopped at the statue and they told me that that's the hero of all Iranians.
Rostam.
He is hero. Hero in past. He is most poem for Iranian.
Most important.
Most important.
هودیش.
Hoodie.
هودیش is tiger.
Yes.
Tiger.
In the back, it's a tiger.
Belt.
Yes.
His belt is tiger.
Yes, he's wearing a tiger and riding a horse and conquer the dragon.
Oh, buddy.
At home, Mohammed's mother introduced me to Persian cuisine. Today, she is cooking rice.
Is fish polo. Fish and polo.
Fish and polo.
Fish and polo.
Wow, fish.
We need onion, garlic, sabzi, fish vegetable. We call sabzi mahi. Fish vegetable.
Sabzi mahi. Cilantro. Is there fish in it?
Yeah. Concept.
The tune fish. Tune fish with cilantro. This is tamarind. To cook that dish?
Taste it.
Good. Sour sweet. And this for cooking?
Yes.
Oh, this tamarind paste is so sour. I think Iranians like sour food.
Yes. Sour and sweet.
Sour and sweet, yes.
In Iran, one of the most common home dishes is different kinds of polo. Polo refers to a rice dish. Unlike in China, here pink rice is often seasoned with salt, sometimes even saffron. This one was cooked with raisins and tamarind, giving it a gentle balance of sweetness and sourness.
So it's a crispy rice on the bottom of the pot. Nushejam. That all the Iranians love it. It's a bit like our Chinese goba, the crispy rice. And what is today's dish called?
Polo mahi.
Polo mahi.
Polo mahi.
Mahi fish, polo rice.
Okay.
After lunch, we would step onto the balcony and make some sound, calling the neighborhood cats.
That's the kali.
Yes.
Kali kush.
Rosie payne.
Oh yes, the cat is coming.
Kali.
Kali.
Kali. بیا کالی مامان بیا. پیش پیش پیش. بیا. بیا قشنگم. بیا دخترم.
Once they appeared and disappeared again, we would sit down for tea, playing cards, letting the afternoon pass slowly. The next day, the internet was still down. Early in the morning, Mohammed's father went to the market and returned with bundles of fresh herbs, mint, basil, radishes. That day, his mother prepared one of Iran's most famous national dishes, gourmet sabzi.
Meat boiled.
Meat boiler.
Meat boiled. Gourmet.
Gourmet.
This is gourmet.
Gourmet.
Without sabzi. When we added sabzi to this dish, named gourmet sabzi.
Gourmet sabzi.
This is gourmet.
Gourmet is meat.
Meat and water and turmeric and spice and onion.
Onion.
Okay.
That is called gourmet.
Gourmet.
And the vegetable is called sabzi.
Okay. The yellow is gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
Is yellow.
Okay.
The color is gourmet is yellow.
Ah, yellow.
Now, later to be turned green. Gourmet
I see.
sabzi.
Gourmet sabzi.
This dish has a deep, savory flavor with a subtle sourness from the dried limes. We also had tadik, the crunchy rice cracker, and we drank du, a salted, fermented yogurt drink. Mohammed's mother told me that for the sake of the family's nutrition, she tries to cook something different every day. Each day, I tasted a new dish. On the third day, there was a stew, something close to the Chinese combination of potatoes and beef, served again with fresh sabzi and warm tafton bread.
This is not the most Iranian way to eat it, but I wrap it as if it's a sandwich. It looks so good, so yummy.
On the fourth day, we had chicken with mushrooms, and on the fifth, Mohammed's father decided it was time to teach me how to make Iranian kebab. Iranian kebab has its own character. The portions are generous, and it is pure meat.
Their grill, the stick is so long and so heavy. It's made of metal. What's it called?
Sikh.
Sikh.
Yeah, you can find it in any Iranian house.
Preparation methods. The chicken is marinated with onions, salted, and then carefully skilled according to each cut, because each part requires a different grilling time.
Now we bring everything onto the balcony and start the grilling process. Kebab. Jejum kebab. Jumje jejum kebab. Juje kebab. Oh, now it's getting burned. Yes, oh, it's getting golden and crispy. Yes, it looks so nice. Ah, you take it out.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So this too.
Yeah.
So now we take out the meat with the bread. Our today's lunch, we got some chicken grill with a lavash bread, some salad, and some extremely sour cherry, pickled sour cherry. I think Iranians can eat really sour food.
Without connection, it was impossible to book tickets online, impossible to call home. I couldn't film much, so I was trapped. At a local travel agency, we found only Iran air tickets were still available, so I booked the nearest flight departing from Isfahan to Najaf and decided to leave. But finally that night, the international phone call could make through. 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and finally there was some good news. That is, now the international phone call can go through.
So normally I talk with Flo every day, but due to the internet blackout, we haven't been able to reach each other for 6 days. So we talked very briefly. I told him that I booked a flight from Isfahan to Najaf for Sunday, and he told me actually there is still international flight. And he said on Thursday there is a flight from Isfahan to Dubai. So he booked that flight for me. And by then I realized that the travel agency in Iran don't have access to international internet. That's why they don't have all the booking informations. And that's why they can only book flights from Iranian airline for me. So he also told me that the most recent news is that Trump might have a phone call or phone talk with the supreme leader of Iran, and no one knows what will happen afterwards, so no one can predict.
2 days later, Mohammed drove me to the airport. Before leaving, he said, in case my flight got cancelled, I just need to give him a phone call. He will come back and pick me up. That noon, several flights to Turkey were cancelled. Mine was the only one still listed, delayed by 2 hours. I wasn't sure if I would be able to leave, but eventually boarding began. As the plane started to taxi, the city outside the window slowly grew smaller. I thought about the uncertainties ahead, about the people and how their life could continue, about when we might meet again. Later, Flo told me that the night before my departure, my flight had briefly been cancelled when Iran closed its airspace, then quietly changed to a 2-hour delay. And as the plane was flying, the airspace above looked like this. At the time, there was no internet. I knew none of this.
This video is definitely not a usual travel vlog like any of my previous travel videos. And there are so many stories that I want to tell, but I haven't got the chance to do so because the Grand Bazaars are shut down and it's not the best time to film on the street. So I want to tell the stories of the craftsmen in Isfahan's Grand Bazaar. I want to visit Yazd, the city in the middle of the desert that is so cleverly constructed to adapt to the desert climate. I want to visit the beautiful, beautiful Persian courtyard in Shiraz. I want to tell more stories of the lovely Iranian people.
The future is uncertain, but one thing that I know for sure, one day I will see my friend in Iran again.